Folks, I've been watching the hurricane as it makes landfall on the Louisiana coast, and at 148 miles an hour, it's being clocked. Winds are being clocked. Uh, oh, Heart breaks for the families and what they have ahead of them. And as I understand it, about as many stayed as left. So it's going to be real rough. Sure hope that people survive this. We got a lot to pray for, besides our country and the situation in the Middle East. We have a hurricane, and for us here at home in the good old US of A, in the comfort of our home, me getting ready to image the sun. We have nothing to complain about. Well, hello folks. I didn't mean to start with some melancholy, but my name is Ed Overstreet, and I have a YouTube channel called the Night Sky Imager, and it's fairly new. I started it about a year or so ago, but didn't put any videos up because I didn't know how, and really didn't have any streaming software, and I started feeling a little more compelled to share what I know, and I'm kind of an amateur beginner. I've been doing it for a while, but a lot of what I'm doing are just basics. And but I wanted to share with you some work I'm doing. I'm live imaging the sun right now, and I am planning on doing a time lapse. I have probably a good 3 hours of daylight left, where I'll have a good view of the sun. And there's some activity going on. There's some activity on the surface of the sun that's pretty cool. I hope I catch some swirling of the plasma on the surface of the sun in time lapse. And then, of course, there's some prominences that are also active that are nearby. So depending on which camera I use, and I've kind of already made up my mind that I'll be using the ZWO ASI 174 MMC camera. It's a monochrome camera. But I also have the 120 by ASI, the ASI 120 MM Planetary camera, MMS. And yeah, I may take a look and see what that's like. Now, it'd be better to show you. Let me bring up the solar scopes. The telescope on top is the Solar Scout by Daystar, and it has the 120 attached to it, and that's a monochrome camera, and it's connected to the Solar Scout, which has a hydrogen alpha filter that's very similar, although it's not the quark chromosphere. It has some similar, well, it looks just like it, but Daystar tells me it's not. And then on the bottom, it's a refractor by Astrotech. It's the 65 EDQ, and attached to that is a quark chromosphere tilt adapter. In fact, both of those have tilt adapters, can't speak, that help to fight the Newton rings that are prevalent in both kits. And then the 174 by ASI is the camera doing the damage. The green contraption right next to the refractor is the Moonlight focuser, and it's a electronic focuser. So that's outside, I'm inside, and I can control everything you see there from inside, where it's nice and cool, or I wouldn't be doing this. So that's the gear. So let's go outside where I have a laptop, and the laptop's connected to this blue power box that you see underneath the refractor, and data from the two telescopes is being fed to that laptop, and then Wi-Fi is allowing me to connect to the laptop from my main computer in my home. So we're going to share my screen, and we're going to then head out to not observing camera. We're going to head out to the sun. I'm going to close some boxes you don't see, but I do. And there's a couple things I do need to bring up. I need to bring up my focuser. And this is the electronic focuser by Moonlight. I think I need to go to 5, port 5. Nope, access denied. Let's try 3 then. Yep, that's it. So we're connected. The temperature is 45 degrees Celsius. Oh man. It's like 92 then, 93 degrees outside. It's hot. At any rate, this is our sun, our part of it, and let's before I start trying to get a better focus, let's move around the sun and see if we can't find some of the activity. As a matter of fact, let me take you to a website, and it's called gong2.nso.edu. Gong, like in the Gong Show, 2, nso.edu. And this video, our picture is actually 2 minutes old, and this telescope is in Boulder, Colorado, and it shows the activity on the sun here that I'm looking at, bottom right, and then the proms at the bottom right. So that's what we're looking for. So let's head back outside and see if we can kind of move around the rim and see what we come up with. So I think we're going to be moving down, or moving the sun up, and we are. And then we're going to try to move the sun back this way. There's some activity down there on that part of the sun. And let's continue going over here and down a little bit, and go down a little bit, and actually I may have rotated the camera because I should have found this place by now. Well, come on, mount, move. I've got a ton of backlash on this AVX mount. It must be up here in the there we go. Well, it took us a while. Wrong way. Come on back here. Okay, let's actually let's go back a little bit, and not that way, and down this way some. And what I want to do is I want to overexpose this to see if the proms show up. Oh, daggone. They don't. So let's find out where the proms are. Well, we're going to see a lot of the overexposed sun. Let's go back. Come on. It's coming. Let's drop the exposure and find out where we are. Let's go this way. And now let's overexpose. They're not there either, huh? Okay. All right, let's go. They must be above it then. They have to be, because we know they're there. We just saw them on the real time. And we're going to run into them right now. There we go. They're up there. There they are. Okay. Okay. That's what's going on. Oh boy. We got some good activity. Well, I've got a decision to make. Do I want to image these proms? And I'm thinking, because I won't be able to do both and get them in my hang on a minute, we got more of the sun to see. I'm zoomed in. Oh, wonderful. This isn't off or not. Oh yes. Okay, there are our proms. Okay, now let's move down. Wrong way, I mean up. I want to be able to get both the spot and I want to be able to get the spot and the proms. Alright, let's see if we stop right there and underexpose, or expose it like it's supposed to. Oh yeah. Okay, there's our spot. By the way, pay no attention to this discoloration here or or this dark thing right there. That's just, and here's another one, and here's another one. I recognize them. It's dust on my sensor, and or on the optical train. It may be on the chromosphere. It's not on the refractor because it has no effect on the end of the refractor. It's too far away from the sensor to create any issues. But all the optics that are really close to the sensor, dust, little pieces of crud that get on your sensor, they do show up. So I just flat them out, and that's by taking another image that's defocused that really shows these things, and then I subtract them from this image and it removes them. It's easier than cleaning your sensor every time you go out and image, and you really can't clean it. Regardless of how careful you are in the ingredients you use, that's recommended. Dust is in the air and it finds its way of sticking on it, and it just shows up when viewed through a telescope. Okay, let's now overexpose again and make sure we've got everything we want in the frame, and we do. So I need to go find my crosshairs as a reference point. So I'm going to go up here to crosshair, and where do I want to put the crosshairs? I think I'm going to use this big sunspot right there. And what I'm doing is making sure that with each video I take of the sun, and I'm going to be taking a lot of them, probably 300, that if the sun drifts away from those crosshairs between videos, I'll use my hand controller and reposition the sun so it's in the same place. That'll make the stacking software work better. And it'll help to stack this without a need to crop this image. I don't want any cropping to be done by the software, because as you can see, we may crop out some of the solar flares and filaments that are shooting off of the and prominences that are shooting off the surface of the sun. So let's go back up and look at those again. All right. Now, here's the question. How can I take a picture where those are in view and I still get, I have the ability to resolute the sun's surface and all the activity that's going on there? Well, the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to set the exposure. This histogram right here is my guide. I want to set the exposure so high that I fill this entire frame, but I don't go to the right too far and clip out my highlights, my lights. If I go too far, then those pixels will never have any color, or they'll just be lost. They won't have any. It's just like throwing away good pixels. So, but I want to brighten it up as much as I can, because when I start post-processing, I'm going to invert this image, and this will look somewhat like a negative, but it makes no difference, because when colored, it will look like it looks now. But by inverting it, this white is, this black's going to become white, and you will then see the prominences. They'll be revealed. So it's kind of the magic of negativism, and there is magic in negativism, by the way. It ain't good magic, but there is magic. So let's we're going to need to bring our sun down a little bit, because it's moved from the spot. Actually, I think I'm going to change my spot to about, no, I better go back to where I was. And I better do there, and let's come back this way. South, we'll move it. Oh, come on. I better get the hang of it, because I'm going to have to do this a lot. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to capture. Before I do that, we better try to get a better focus. So let's bring up my electronic focuser, and let's just pay attention to the detail in this, and let's go out. We're going to move the focuser out 10 steps. And you have to look at it for a few seconds, because the scene conditions fluctuate and change so much that it's really hard to tell. Sometimes it looks like it's going in and out of focus when you're not changing the focuser at all, and it's because of the atmosphere. It's almost as though we're shooting through water. All right, let's go another 10 steps, because it is sharpening it up some. And I've probably gone too far, but let's go another 10 steps. Yeah, too far. Let's go back out 10 steps, or back in 10 steps. We've been going out. And just to make sure I'm not looking at atmosphere, actually it looks sharper now, and I've gone the other way. Oh, it is. Now, one thing about YouTube, one thing about Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook instead of YouTube, it's hard for you to see any detail. It's just the nature of Facebook. They take your video and they have to compress it so that it'll work with their platform, and when they do that, you don't see much, which is one reason why I sometimes just don't fool with Facebook. And so I recommend that if you're going to watch this, that you go to the Night Sky Imager YouTube channel, and that's my recommendation. So I'm going to need to scoot it over a little bit. Over, not down. Let's go down. Over south. All right, let's go over, which is south, and now we got to go back up, which is east. Now my two pier mounted mounts, the Atlas Pro mounts, although they do have backlash, they're very responsive, and they're much better mounts all the way around than the Celestron AVX, but it does just fine. It serves my needs. All right, I'm going to go to capture. I'm going to click on Start Capture, and I'm going to take 300 videos. They're going to be they're going to be no, they're going to be 1,000 frames, and they're going to be 300 videos, and that's about what I want to do. I want to pause between 15 seconds, which will give me plenty of time to reposition the mount, or stop the mount to reposition it, and if it goes crazy. So here we go. Actually, I'm going to name it. I'm going to just do 700 frames. Yep. Let's go. And I'll tell you what. That's fine. Let's go. We're at 70 frames per second. I could make some changes and speed this up. All right, we're off and running. Down here at the bottom left, you're going to see where it says capturing, and so it's already taken the first video. It's got 299 left to go. I'm looking at the top, and there's 9 seconds left as we're waiting between videos, 15 seconds. And again, that'll give me plenty of time to nudge the mount one way or the other to keep it in the crosshairs. So I've just been told by Facebook that my stream quality has been intentionally lowered because the internet connection is not fast enough, and I doubt that. I'm using Charter, and we've got lightning speed internet. There's a lot of things that aren't very functional, but my internet is I can't complain. Okay, the mount's still in a pretty good place. We're now at taking 3. We have 297 to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video. You see where I'm going, and I'll be doing this until babysitting this mount until 6 o'clock tonight, which is 2 hours and 10 minutes from now. I should have my 300 videos, and when I'm done, I will process each one of those using a batch processing script in AutoStacker, which will stack each of those videos into one picture file, a TIFF file. And then I'll take the 300 TIFF files, which are now pictures and not videos, and I will run them through a program called IMPPG. And that's where I will run the inversion and invert these pictures and apply a set of wavelets. I'll do that in a batch mode. And when I'm done from that, then I will import those into PixInsight, where I will color them and use the curves to add adjustment and a sharpening effect to bring out the detail. And then from there, we'll go into a software program called PIP, P-I-P-P, and they'll be aligned, and then they'll be converted into a GIF file, and we'll hopefully be able to see the animation of the prominences doing their swirling thing, as well as maybe we'll see some swirling of the plasma on the surface of the sun as some of these filaments shoot up. So actually what you don't see, there are just like you see the prominences shooting off the surface of the sun into the void of deep darkness there, those same prominences are shooting at us in areas like this and other places on the sun, but they're coming at us, and of course you can't see it, but they have a swirling effect, and so you do have the ability to check them out. So with that being said, I will let you know what the finished product looks like, and I'll catch you later. Prayers for everyone that's in the path of the Hurricane Ida, for all the families.